when birth becomes a choice, not a mystery. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11x published author, and this is the Designer Babies series, reprogramming humanity, one genome at a time. We used to say that life begins at birth, that the womb was sacred and untouchable, that what happened in those first 9 months was divine mystery, chaos met with chance. But that's no longer true. Not because the soul has changed, but because science has caught up with spirit. Because we are no longer passively awaiting the arrival of a child. We are now curating one, selecting traits, removing flaws, editing DNA like lines in a manuscript. For the first time in human history, birth is no longer discovery. It's design. This isn't speculative fiction. This isn't one lab in one obscure country. It's a rapidly growing global industry. CRISPR gene editing technology has given us the power to alter embryos, not just to heal, but to enhance intelligence, height, eye color, disease resistance, longevity, behavioral predispositions. The tools exist, the procedures are being done, the laws are lagging, and in some places already broken. So this series begins not with a warning of what may come, but a declaration of what's already begun. We've crossed the line. The question is not whether babies can be designed. The question is, what happens now that we can? From chance to control, the end of the natural lottery. Let's begin by acknowledging what birth used to be. It was randomness. You got what you got. A roll of the genetic dice, your traits, your talents, your limitations, your vulnerabilities, all shuffled together by DNA passed down from your ancestors. Parents hoped for a healthy baby. Some prayed, some accepted fate, some feared it. But now, chance has been replaced by control. With pre-implantation genetic testing, parents can screen embryos for everything from Down syndrome to predicted IQ. With CRISPR, they can go a step further, cutting out disease-causing genes, inserting enhancements, editing the blueprint of life, not in theory, in real time, in labs, quietly, legally in some countries, illegally in others, but universally, already happening. The very concept of being born is changing. Because we're no longer just welcoming children into the world, we're constructing them, planning them, programming them, and in doing so, we're redefining what it means to be human. Who gets to choose the future? That's the first ethical fracture. Who gets to make these choices? Is it the parents, the doctors, the scientists, the state? If a couple can choose between 2 embryos, one with a higher IQ score and one with a lower, do they owe it to their child to pick the smarter one? What if the higher IQ embryo also carries a gene linked to depression? Who decides what's worth keeping, what's worth discarding, and what's good enough? What if a country encourages editing to reduce the economic burden of disease? What if insurance companies start denying coverage for avoidable genetic conditions that could have been screened out? What if governments begin to incentivize specific traits, obedience, conformity, physical perfection? Once you open the door to design, you don't just get control. You get obligation. You get pressure. You get a market of unborn beings, each evaluated for potential, each ranked by probability. And if you can choose, are you a bad parent if you don't? From therapy to enhancement, where the line blurs. The initial justification is always medical. Let's prevent disease. Let's spare a child from suffering. Let's eliminate cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, Tay-Sachs. And most agree, that's good. That's compassionate. That's healing. But once you can eliminate disease, you can also enhance traits, boost memory, increase bone density, improve immunity, favor certain temperaments, adjust appearance. Where is the line between healing and upgrading? Between medicine and modification? We tell ourselves the line is clear, but in practice, it's blurry. The same technology used to cut out Huntington's disease can be used to enhance muscle growth. The same genetic testing that screens for schizophrenia can identify genes linked to lower attention span, impulsivity, or lower academic performance. One parent removes suffering. Another parent removes imperfection. Same tools, different motives, same embryo, different future. Designer babies are already born. This isn't hypothetical. In 2018, Chinese scientist He Jiankui announced the birth of the world's first gene-edited children, twin girls Lulu and Nana, engineered to be resistant to HIV. He was condemned and sentenced to prison. But the act proved the world had already changed. The edit was done. The children are alive. The tech worked. And once it works once, it never goes back into the box. Since then, labs in multiple countries have begun quietly offering enhanced screening and experimental interventions. The US hasn't federally banned it. Europe has. China and Russia are racing ahead, especially in military and medical arenas. Embryo selection for non-disease traits is already available in US fertility clinics under the language of risk reduction or enhancement potential. In other words, the designer baby is not futuristic. It is present tense. The future is here. It just hasn't been evenly distributed or acknowledged. Are we editing humanity itself? The most chilling part? Germline edits, changes made to embryos, are heritable. That means the changes pass on to all future generations. If you enhance one child, you change the trajectory of an entire bloodline. You edit not just a life, but a lineage. That raises new questions we've never faced. Who owns those changes? Can they be undone? What happens if an edit causes problems 20 years later? Who is responsible if a designed trait results in psychological harm? Do future children have a right to an unedited genome? We've never had this kind of intergenerational authorship before. We're not just making choices for a child. We're making decisions for children they haven't even met. We're playing forward edits without knowing the full script. This is not science fiction. This is science present. You are alive during the rewrite of the species. The business of bioengineering behind every gene editing procedure is a business model. Make no mistake, this is an industry. The market for embryo testing, fertility enhancement, and future gene editing services is projected to reach tens of billions within the next decade. Celebrities, tech moguls, and investors are already pouring money into biotech startups focused on extending life, enhancing intelligence, and reversing aging. If a child becomes a product, who regulates the product specs? If a baby's genes are optimized through paid services, what happens when enhancements become standard for the rich, but inaccessible to everyone else? A new form of class warfare is emerging, not between rich and poor, but between edited and unedited. Between those engineered for success and those born with flaws, society no longer tolerates. This is the birth of biological inequality, a new caste system, genetic advantage for sale. What happens to the soul? Amid all the science, there's a deeper, older question. What happens to the soul when we start editing life at inception? Are we just shells of code? Can love be programmed? Is struggle obsolete? What becomes of mystery, intuition, and spiritual depth in a world optimized for perfection? If your child is engineered to be happy, will they ever know the grit of joy earned through suffering? If we remove all uncertainty from birth, do we also remove something sacred? No one knows. And that's the point. We are crossing thresholds faster than we are forming questions, let alone answers. You were born, unselected, unscripted. You are the last generation that can say that. From here forward, birth is not just biology. It is architecture. It is curation. It is technology, economics, politics, and philosophy, all rolled into a single medical procedure. Some will say this is progress. Others will say it's playing God. But no matter your view, the truth remains. The era of designed life has begun. And we must now ask, what is a human being when humanity itself is editable? Because once life becomes something we control, the mystery dies. And with it, perhaps something else dies too. Something fragile, beautiful, and wholly human. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SoS School of SoS Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.